Wilmington Police Department leadership under investigation. WECT has learned the department and its leadership were recently the focus of a third-party investigation paid for by the city of Wilmington.
The city shelled out $75,000 to look into a number of allegations within the department. It's a story WHQR first broke earlier this month. While the results of that investigation have not been released, we are sharing the findings of our own investigation into some of those allegations. WECT investigative reporter Connor Smith has been working on this story for months now. Connor, what brought on the city's investigation?
Fran, I'm told the tipping point for the city to hire an outside company to investigate the police department and the chief came from a single complaint. But a number of former officers say that complaint follows a long line of issues and concerns within the department. Mike Fanta had a 30-year career with the Wilmington PD. Highs and lows like any job, but he says working under Donnie Williams was definitely a low point. Fanta says Williams may hold the title of chief, but he acts more like a dictator.
A tyrant or insecure, petty.
Not liking someone's management style is one thing, but a month after retiring this spring, Fanta filed this hostile work environment complaint directly against Chief Williams. That complaint broken down into 3 categories: threats, exclusion, and insults.
Month after month, year after year, he just kept operating the way, and he justifies the fact that, to me, that he's allowed to operate like as a dictator.
The complaint ultimately led to that third-party investigation paid for by the city. Its findings are unclear, but when Fanta received this letter on October 9th from city manager Tony Cottle saying his complaints against the police chief had been substantiated, it was a surprise.
A shock, and then, again, vindication.
Cottle's letter says steps are being taken to address the complaints, but he can't provide more detail since it's a personnel matter. Cottle and Williams both declined to speak with us for this report. Mayor Bill Saffo did not respond to multiple interview requests, but he had this to say when we asked him about his confidence in WPD at a recent event.
Mine is extremely high. I think we have a very good department here. The stats speak for themselves. We have worked hard at reducing especially violent crime, but I'm very confident in the men and women of the Wilmington Police Department.
City council members held a closed meeting on October 11th, and according to our sources, they discussed the investigation and WPD leadership. Council members declined to share details with WECT. Fanta says he deserves to read a summary of the report, and so do you. He says the lack of transparency from city leaders should concern people in Wilmington. WECT requested a copy of the report and did not receive it.
They need to know, and it's their right to know. They paid for all this, and they're paying a lot of money for that police department.
We started digging and found Fanta wasn't the only one with stories of a toxic work environment inside WPD. In fact, a records request revealing over 200 departures from the department between July 2020 and this October. Nearly 80% of those departures, resignations. 4 of those officers who have left say burnout, poor pay, and mismanagement have led to retention problems during Williams' tenure. Former Corporal Megan O'Brien says it all comes back to the chief.
There was a supreme feeling throughout the agency, from my perspective, that we did not, as officers, have the support from our chief.
All agreed the summer of George Floyd's murder, the same summer Williams was promoted to chief in 2020, changed the agency. Some officers say mandatory overtime became the norm to ensure there were enough officers to answer calls. Data provided by the city shows turnover numbers jumped over the next 2 years. And the former officers we talked to say if recruiting and retention was a problem, Chief Williams' treatment of his staff wasn't much better. According to the complaint, Williams made threats of suspension or even termination if anyone undermined him. But according to his complaint, what bothered Fanta the most? Constantly hearing he was corrupt and had no moral compass in meetings with the chief. Former Corporal Joshua Trantham believes Williams' leadership helped fuel toxicity.
It was, look at me, look at me, look at me. And that, to me, just kind of seemed like morale just went downhill from there. Once again, people not feeling like, the agency or even the city themselves had their backs.
Former officers claim the entire promotion system changed under his leadership. It was no longer merit-based with applications and interviews. WPD leadership just using an annual survey to decide who went where.
That's like taking someone in the mailroom and being like, you're going to be VP. Like, you'll figure it out as you go. No worries. It's really similar. I mean, you can't do that.
Fanta says he pushed back on the system in emails and meetings with the chief.
The environment was, your input is not wanted. And I was told that directly, at least twice at the very beginning.
And Fanta says that included input on who worked in his division. The chief micromanaging, leaving division commanders out of meetings or ignoring them altogether. 3 decades in the department, and Fanta felt like he was treated like a rookie. That's why he decided something had to be done.
The police department needs change, and again, that occurs with every leader. He's been there for 4 years. He's past due for retirement.
That decision falls on Cottle, while the city manager declined to answer any questions, including ones asking if he was considering firing Chief Williams. Councilmember Kevin Spears says the department is in good hands. In the investigation sparked by Fanta's complaint, nothing more than a racist smear campaign.
You see that? That's black skin. That's the real issue.
When WECT asked for a basis on that allegation, Spears was unable to offer any actual evidence, only stating this is how black people have been treated for years. Fanta says racism has nothing to do with it. If anything, he says Williams has benefited from being Wilmington's first black police chief.
If Chief Donnie Williams was a white male, I don't think he would be here right now. He would have been dealt with even sooner.
Now, since our inquiries, Chief Williams gave us a statement. It reads in part, quote, "Those who know me, they know that my track record speaks for itself. I will continue to place others over myself to serve our community as I have done each day for the past 30 years, end quote. We're still working to get a copy of the ISS report and find out what personnel actions possibly resulted from it. We're also working to learn the specific details and consequences, if any, from that city-paid investigation. We'll keep you posted as we learn more.